What's up, everybody? It's your boy Keefe, and you're watching another edition of ghostcultmag.com's Weekly Ritual, our weekly news show covering the whole world of rock and metal. Me here, you there, everywhere in the world. I'm a little under the weather tonight. Having some technical difficulties with our intro. Sorry about that if you're watching on one of the preferred live streaming venues, YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, but we're also on TikTok and Instagram. We'll try to say what's up to y'all on the channels. If you give us a super thanks or a donation of any kind or some kind of super chat on YouTube, we will put your questions to the boss here to the front. But in the meantime, I am Ghost Cult Keefe. We are ghostcultmag.com. We are a 24/7, 365 music website, everyday rock, metal news, reviews, interviews, the whole world. I came from a show tonight. I'm in the city of my birth, the Bronx, New York. I was down in Manhattan, Manny, New York City, to watch Stabbing Westward for the third time this year at Le Poisson Rouge. I love saying that name. Great venue. It was great to be back. One of the cherished venues I've gotten to revisit in my trip back home. Let's make sure you guys are seeing all the things. So yeah, you'll see me reaching for some refreshments. And possibly, hey, Stormland is here on YouTube. The East Coast is treating me very well. Stormland, by the way, incredible musician. We've interviewed him here on the channel. You can check that out when you're done watching this show. The East Coast has been treating me well. You know, it's been a whole glass case of emotion, if you get that Anchorman reference. And it's nice to know how I'll be received when I pass away someday. Everybody missed me a lot, apparently, and thinks very highly of me. I'm not sure why, but it's all good. It's been awesome. Did some personal family stuff. Did a lot of friend stuff. Still working my regular job. I am not on vacation. I'm still working, and obviously working at Ghost Cult every day. I will be in Chicago for Riot Fest next week. So anybody in the Chicago area that wants to hang, get a pizza, go to the restaurant based on the hit Hulu series The Bear, go to the Shameless House, go check out The Bears. Anything you want to do in Chicago, holler at your boy. I will be at Riot Fest all weekend, including my birthday, September 17th. But yeah, little frog in the throat tonight. Not feeling my best, but I'm going to plow through. Dream Theater is somehow here. Boy, I hope that's the real Dream Theater. I've been a fan since you guys were Majesty. People were talking about Majesty when I went to the high school of Fiorello H. LaGuardia High School of Music and the Performing Arts, and people were like, yo, you got to check out this band, Majesty. So, yeah, for real. We have been lucky enough to cover Dream Theater many times in my career and interview them and everything. Great band. So, here's what we do. Let's bring in the deck. The intro was a fail for the first time ever since doing StreamYard. But let us bring in the deck. And I did it wrong already. So we're already off the rails. But here we go. That's the correct view. Friday, September 8th, everywhere in the world. It's New Music Friday. This is the layout of the show. We do all the things. Here's the housekeeping of the show. The intro, this is it. We talk about some announcements, usually the bad news before the good news, events in the world, things going on. Then we bring you the features here at Ghost Cult this week. There are quite a bunch. Most of the interviews we do, but other things. Then also the major festival news of the world. There's some going on this weekend. There's a bunch of new ones popping up. There's a lot of stuff coming up soon that we're going to highlight. Bang, bang, bang. We talk about tour dates and one-off shows that are real interesting to us. Then we bring you the major news stories of the week, followed by the New Music Friday rundown, which everybody's usually hype about. Tons of new music coming out between now and Thanksgiving holiday in America. And then we do something fun from the mailbag, and we call it a show. You can't quite see my mailbag item. It's kind of right off to the side here. So that's going to be real fun. Not quite a mailbag thing. It's more like a thing I picked up at a concert recently. So we'll talk all about that at the time. doing all the things. You're a good dude. It's not a surprise that people appreciate you and enjoy Riot Fest. Thank you, Stormland. I do hope that in 2024 I get to go to the Pacific Northwest a little more. I have not been to Portland since 2018, and I have never been to Seattle or Vancouver, and I would like to. So hopefully one of these things works out. All right. On with the stuff. So here's the weekly ritual, and here are the announcements, and it's always some rough news. We've had a lot of losses this week in the music world, and we need to talk about some of them. That's a blank page. And we'll talk about this real quick. We're still supporting the Solidarity Voices compilation. Before we give you the bad, sad news, out on Fine Shammy Records, there's a new single coming next week. We will at least run the news here at Ghost Cult, but stay tuned. We're still hype on this. And it was just Labor Day this week, so very fitting that we talk about Solidarity Voices Comp whenever we talk about labor and Labor Day. So anyway, on with the announcements. Steve Harwell, the celebrated and controversial frontman of the hugely successful rock band and pop band Smash Mouth, died this week. At home, surrounded by his loved ones. Steve had been battling for several years with illnesses brought on by his many issues with drugs and alcohol. But I like what the band said. You know, of course, Smash Mouth was this huge phenomenon in the 90s. Humongous hit songs with their kind of retro rock sound. Obviously, the Shrek soundtracks made them humongous with their cover of the Monkees' iconic song, I'm a Believer. And Steve, you know, he had some rough times in recent years and kind of retired from touring and performing. But what I like what the band said about him best is this is a guy who was not a musician and did not have musical goals to be in a band and be a huge rock star. And he, Jason Pitts is here, the co-owner of Ghost Cult. And Steve, you know, they were like, why don't you remember that this guy was like one of the most unlikely rags to riches stories in history. And he became a humongous star and brought a lot of happiness and joy to people who love those songs rather than focus on the struggles he had and the way he passed. Remember how he lived. And I think that's a good thing for everybody. Remember how everybody lived. You know, remember how people live, not how they pass. It's a good lesson for all of us. Jism is an incredible Japanese punk rock band, and they have been kind of in the underground for decades. And I think it's so many underrated musicians and artists in the world, but the lead vocalist of Jism, I'm probably gonna mispronounce this, and I apologize to all our Japanese followers and friends. Sakayabi Yokohama passed away. I do not have a cause of death. He died peacefully, according to a statement from the band. I can't imagine this band carrying on without him. They were still playing gigs as recently as the last few years. Super influential, iconic. I just went to the Punk Rock Museum in Las Vegas in May, and there was an exhibit on Japanese punk, and they were prominently featured. So, and rightfully so. So yeah, rest in power, Yokoyama-san. Anyhow, moving on. This is Tom Davies. Tom Davies was the longtime bassist of Nebula. He lost his very difficult battle with leukemia this week, just yesterday. The announcement came from his family. Nebula has been literally one of the leading psychedelic and stoner rock bands in the world. I just saw them. They've been obviously playing with a replacement. He replaced their founding bassist. And he was in the band for 20 years through this hugely prolific time of releases and EPs and full-length albums. And, what a great bassist. I got to see him twice. Nice guy. Fantastic bassist. And, Nebula is known for, like, wild guitar antics. And, Eddie, who's their front person and the incredible lead guitarist, you got to hold down the rhythm section so Eddie can basically go nuts. And, what a great guy and a great artist. And it's just very sad that he passed. And it was a very loving tribute by his family on socials that Nebula shared. So very sad. Leukemia sucks. We lost one of our very own to leukemia just a year ago, or 2 years ago. Matt Davies, no relation. Also, not a huge fan, but Jimmy Buffett died this week. This guy was not just a musician and a singer, an icon, I guess, of a lifestyle for boomers, I guess, are his number one fans. Cheeseburger in Paradise. This is the LP of Cheeseburger in Paradise because we don't have a picture of him, and we probably can't afford to get one without being sued. But he had a whole chain of restaurants, and I saw a really great tweet on X or whatever it is now, Twitter, that was like, okay, you work at Jimmy Buffett's restaurant. They just found out he died. You are about to have the worst shift of your life because you are going to hear Margaritaville and Cheeseburger in Paradise and all these songs, which already are played around the clock. You're going to hear them ad infinitum. But like, I can appreciate that this guy was, a lot of people loved him, especially something about like boat and sea people and Floridians and coastal people love some Jimmy Buffett, especially of a certain age. So rest in power and in peace, Jimmy Buffett. All righty, just moving on to some business. Once again, we are celebrating the fact that we have 4,000 subscribers. Chances are, if you're watching this on YouTube, either live or in the replay, you found us because of interviews we have done with Hylam and Obituary and Anthrax and Brendan Small's Death Clock just recently, and so many artists. We have interviewed hundreds and hundreds of artists in our time here at Ghost Cult, especially the last few years. And some stellar ones happened this week, and some more are coming up that are huge for us. So stay tuned, and thank you for being here. And if you're here for the first time, which is also very possible, smash that bell. Again, like and subscribe and smash that bell and get notified every time we go live or when we share a video, which is usually 2 or 3 a week. Alrighty, again, we're on all the things on social media, X, whatever. We're on Threads, but I'm really not posting there. Let me know in the comments if you're on Threads and if you do post it, if you'd like to see us post there. But so far, I'm not really posting there. We're on Discord and we are on Reddit. So a lot of people have told me that they wanted us to get on Discord and Reddit. So if you want to skip social media as your number one source to find out about rock and metal news and all our content, I urge you to go there and throw us a follow and a sub. And you'll be rewarded by no chatter from anywhere else and just a straight feed to your phone. I love Reddit, personally. Discord, I'm getting the hang of. It's very cool, but I really love Reddit. And I feel like I contribute to Reddit, and we also have our own Reddit, and I learn a lot of stuff from Reddit. Reddit is really like the new YouTube. Just one of my favorite things. How about you? We're also on Twitch. If you're watching this on Twitch right now, thank you. Please give us a sub. We're trying to get those numbers up. So, on to the features this week. We have a whole gang of interviews that we did this week on video and podcasts and written interviews on our website. So the first interview this week is this tremendous, and a lot of them are, this YouTube content's exclusive. Nobody else has the similar interviews that we do. I'm not trying to gas ourselves up, but a lot of times we get these artists and we have very unique and special interviews. But this week we focus on a lot of these album breakdowns. This is Kim McAuliffe of Girl School. Girl School just put out their 14th album, What the 45? Which, it's supposed to be What the something else. And she was incredible. Heavy metal legend. Album's killer. If you love just heavy metal, Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, Saxon, Motorhead, you will love Girl School. They were very closely associated with Motorhead. They did an awesome collaborative EP together. We talked all about that. I have a copy of the vinyl, the repress that I really love. And she was delightful. Check out my interview with Kim McAuliffe of Girl School. Still kicking ass. They got a lot of festivals and tours planned for 2024. Also, I talked to Martin Lopez. You know him formerly of Opeth and Amon Amarth. He is the drummer and leader of the band Soen, progressive metal band. They have a brand new album out. Memorial came out just last week on the 1st of September. And we talked to him all about, this is our third interview with Martin. He's really gracious. He really likes Ghost Cult. He really appreciates us. and our coverage of their band. And so Martin broke down the songwriting, talked about the process of the album. For the first time, they really worked with a lot of guest artists coming in. A year ago, they did, not even a whole year ago, just 8 months ago, they put out a live album, Atlantis, with a string orchestra, and did a lot of covers. So we really went deep with Martin. And of course, Martin is very political minded, and we always get into some politics stuff, which, not everybody loves, but we are very similar minds about politics. So, ultimately he cares about people and the world, which I think everybody, whatever side of an issue you're on, that's what you do too. You care about the world. You want to see the world get better. Another album breakdown we did is with the fantastic Joe Nolly of Earn. If you don't know Earn with an E, you need to get acquainted, as I like to say. Earn just put out this spectacular new album on Spinefarm Records, produced by Joe Duplantier of Gojira. Gojira is kind of like their mentors. They've opened and toured with Gojira. We just covered them at Bloodstock Open Air. And what a fantastic chat. Joe is under the weather in this interview, and he did not want to cancel. He showed up in this interview with a little blankie and a sore throat, but he wanted to hang out with us and talk about his band, and I was really grateful. And also, finally, today, I ran our interview with Art Jegizar of Art of Shock. Art of Shock is the Los Angeles thrash metal band. They've got a brand new album out, Shine Black Light, out right now on Century Media Records. And again, we talked about the album, but we also talked about kind of neo-thrash as a genre, and how many bands come out of the sort of LA County area, not just Hollywood and Los Angeles, which is, the band originally started by two brothers from Mexico, but they relocated to the LA area, and it's not just LA. There's a ton of bands surrounding LA that are still doing this great modern thrash metal. So we talked a bit about that, and I think it's hella interesting. Alrighty. Moving along, this is another, I want to make sure I say this correctly because I butcher these names, something terrible. Give me 1 second. I have this pronunciation printed in my, typed out in an email to myself because I wanted to make sure I didn't have it wrong. So this is Cambodia, which is a Norwegian band that is like a kitchen sink approach to metal. They have post-rock and punk rock and atmospheric extreme metal, all the things, but they work seamlessly. And this is a really fun band. Their new album is coming out at the end of the month, and our own Ralka Skedricep interviewed them, and she sent their questions, and they wrote back, and we shared it. So you check that out. I'll link it in the description pretty soon after this live stream's over. So you'll be able to check this out if you're watching this on the rebroadcast. And so we also have a podcast, the Ghost Cult Magazine podcast. This is one of our fun logos. We shouted out last week, Sludgework Meg of Sludgework, who did the refresh on our culty logo a few years ago. Also did this logo at the same time, and it's like all these twisted rinds and roots. We don't normally use this one. We use the more sort of muted one. It's a little more conservative, but I like this just to pop it up every once in a while. So wherever you listen to podcasts, this show will be a podcast. Some of our exclusive interviews are podcasts. We ran a couple last week. We got a couple more to run soon. And in addition, I do a monthly podcast with our senior editor, Steve Tovey. Steve runs our whole reviews team. And just to give you an idea, we have already done over 400 reviews in 2023, and we did not do 400 reviews, just under, I think, 300 in 2022. So we are definitely going to have definitely dozens more reviews of albums before the year is out. I venture to guess of any website of our stripe, we do more reviews of any other site. There's no question. We do the most reviews. And I'm pretty proud of that fact. I got to be honest with you. So check out my new podcast, the Steve and Keefe Power Hour. We get together with Steve. We recap the releases that came out in August, and we forecast the ones that are coming out now and give our thoughts about our writers and our approach to things, and we shoot the shit about other stuff. It's a lot of fun. So again, there's the other Ghost Cult Magazine podcast logo. And then there's another podcast we are hella supportive of, which is the Heavy Business Podcast. I haven't really need to catch up on my shares. I was a guest recently there, but also we share most all their episodes. They are run by C Squared Marketing and PR, and the Heavy Business Podcast is focused on exploring the stories and knowledge of people already in the business, playing in rock and metal, the whole music industry, and uncovering intel to help your band for free. I don't know if you know this because we don't plug it all the time on this show, but actually myself and Curtis of C Squared, we have a free Facebook group for bands and music people and music industry people to get together and not to spam your links. Check out my video, check out my stuff, but we share knowledge. We give advice. We have lessons. We do things. We help promote each other, not another Facebook group to share links in and be like, check out my stuff. Check out my stuff. I can't tell you how many people friend me and then literally 2 seconds later, hey, check out my band. I know you do Ghost Cult. It's like, that's flattering, but no, thank you. Not interested. Time for a little seltzer action. She was a beer, but I'm going to bed right after this. Absolutely right after this, I'm going to bed. Heavy Business Podcast. Check it out wherever you listen to podcasts and also at Ghost Cult. Okay, moving on. Another podcast I'm the co-host of is the Glacially Musical Podcast, like pour a beer, metal and swearing, sometimes hockey, sometimes some pop culture references. We are continuing our series on Cannibal Corpse with their 4th album, The Bleeding, the final album from Chris Barnes. Does it hold up? Is it still great? Is it not great? Listen to the podcast and find out. Throw us a sub and a follow if you're there. We appreciate it. Looks like we got a few followers here. Maybe I missed some people. Got some people here on the TikTok. Beast Brook is here. Hello. Welcome to our show. Thanks for being here. So, yeah, we're just talking about all our podcasts and all our features. So, Ghost Cult Magazine Podcast, Glacial Musical Podcast, Heavy Business Podcast, a lot of stuff we do. All right. And just a little shout out to our affiliate partner, Merch Bar. You rock the shirts, you wear the hats, you got this vinyl, you get the flags, you get the pins and patches for your battle vests. Merch Bar's got you covered, and we have an affiliate deal with Merch Bar where if you use our special link in the description or in our link tree, you get a permanent discount every time you shop with them, and we get a little money. And I personally have shopped with Merch Bar, and they're awesome. We don't promote anything we don't use ourselves. Including this image of Merch Bar. I have several of these albums that I bought from Merch Bar, including the Paul Bearer and the Meshuggah. And they also have some cool shirts. So check out Merch Bar, our affiliate partner, in the link below. Okay, it's time for the festival rundown. Music festivals going on in the world this weekend and coming up soon. So already underway, Blue Ridge Rock Festival in West Virginia, back for another year. This festival's just awesome in terms of quantity of bands and quality, but they do seem to have some problems. And listen, like, the festivals cannot control Mother Nature. If there's crazy weather going on in the USA right now, and they just got deluged with rain. I believe Biohazard was rained out tonight. I don't know. It sucks. Hopefully they can get through the weekend. The rest of the weekend features Slipknot, Danzig doing his farewell tour, Shinedown, Papa Roach, Pantera, Lamb of God. I mean, it's crazy. I think Corey Taylor, Limp Bizkit, Megadeth. I should have made this poster bigger. Evanescence. So, yeah. I hope everybody out there is staying dry and gets to do their thing. Darkwork is here. Hello, Darkwork. Thanks for watching the show. Thanks for being here. Moving on, the New England Metal and Hardcore Festival coming up next weekend has announced their stage times for next weekend's Comeback Festival. Friday night, Parkway Drive, Amity Affliction, North Lane, and Make Them Suffer. Unbelievable Friday lineup. And then also, Saturday is Banana Nanas, including the return of Shadows Fall and so many other bands. This is going to be so killer. Killswitch Engage, many others. Outdoors at the Palladium. Hopefully weather doesn't get them either. And if you are a fan of the New England Metal and Hardcore Festival, I went to many of these. I believe the official total is 14 of the 20 or 19 New England Metal and Hardcore Festivals, or not 20. I went to 14 of 20. This is the 21st. I will not be there, but Ghost Cult will be covering. And early next week, there will be an interview here on the YouTube channel with Scott Lee. Scott Lee of New England Metal and Hardcore Fest and many other ventures. He gave me some shit because I'm not going, but he's amazing, and I'm a huge fan, and I've been honored to know him and, get acquainted with him over the many years of supporting this at the Worcester Palladium, where I used to spend a lot of my time when I lived in Boston. Those you haven't heard about that before, that I'm from New York and I live in Boston, right? Moving on, Prophecy Fest is this weekend. It's already underway. In a cave in Germany, OMG. I don't know if it's sold out, but chances are you can't get there if you're not already on your way. But I hope you're there and having an incredible time. Prophecy Productions, check out that label. Great legacy artists, great new artists. They're always signing. Let me know what your favorite metal label is. But Prophecy Productions is one of mine. And if you like really high quality box set style things, I got a tremendous Alcest box set from them back in the day. Just amazing. Just amazing stuff. All right. This weekend, again, Sunday at the Webster in Hartford, Connecticut, is the Capulet Entertainment Back to School Bash. And we talked about this a couple weeks ago. We just recently interviewed Estevan Vega for Capulet Fest that happened back in July. This is a little mini fest, a one-dayer. The Crown, the Empire, The Word Alive. I'm a fan. He is legend. I'm a fan. In Spirit, basically formerly Vanna without the problematic frontman. If not for me, Actor Observer, and many others. Check them out at the Webster. Tickets are still available. I've also seen many cool shows at the Webster in Hartford. Desert Fest New York is just a week away. Headlined by Monster Magnet, Boris and the Melvins, Corrosion and Conformity, Windhand, COC, Godflesh, Conan, Mantar, Brant Bjork, Mondo Generator, Ecstatic Vision. Oh my gosh, what a lineup this is. Unbelievable. Heavy Temple, our homies in Heavy Temple, big fan. Hey, Zero in Focus, how you doing? How you doing? All right. Desert Fest New York coming up. Levitation Fest has announced their full lineup. It's pretty crazy. Coming up later in the autumn. Just so many bands, I can't even name them all. This is across many genres. Alternative rock, punk rock, stoner rock, black metal, heavy metal. Just bananas. Banana balls. Austin, Texas. I need to get there. I have never been. If you've been there, give me some advice. I probably don't want to go for South by Southwest. I had this discussion with my friend and peer, Shay Leonia, who's a great electronic artist, Angelo Marinquez. Hello, sorry there. Sorry if I butchered your name there, Angelo. Good to see you. Welcome to the show. But I was talking, I had dinner with Shay Leonia. She's awesome, thinking about singers like Poppy or Meg Myers or Paris with a little more soul. And she was saying, dude, you got to go to South by Southwest. And I was like, I've always wanted to go. And we even helped sponsor a show there once, but I don't know that I want to go for South by Southwest. So music industry people help me out there. Shout out to Shay Leonia. Metal Injection Festival is also next weekend. We normally don't shine a light on our competitors, but Metal Injection, they're our peers. This thing is incredible. They've earned it, almost, 16, 17 years in the business. Funny enough, so, Poppy Possessed official. That's incredible. Possessed knows Poppy. That's just mind-blowing. I used to, once again, when I lived in the Boston area, Lynn Gunn, who is Paris, who is now on tour with Poppy, they're co-headlining the tour together. She used to manage the Newbury Comics I used to buy records at. And, I wasn't like super familiar with her that she made music, but like I remember her from there. And Ghostmain, that's sick. Ghostmain's incredible. I know Ghostmain's a big black metal fan. I've been told that Poppy is mega nice. I've been told that Poppy is super nice in person. I would try to get an interview. Sumerian bands are getting so big, some of them, that they're a little out of our reach. To chat with them, I've met Andy Black, a Black Veil Bride, super cool. I interviewed Lilith Czar. Very difficult to say, Lilith Czar. I interviewed her last year. She was amazing. Remembered me from like 10 years prior. She's like, "Yeah, you look kind of the same." I was like, "Oh, no, I was hoping I was thinner, but I'm not." Hilarious. But yeah, Metal Injection Festival is going to LA next weekend, the same time as Metal and Hardcore Fest, the same time as Riot Fest, which I will be at. They have a pre-party night one with the after party with DJ Painkiller. And this festival looks nuts. Testament, Machine Head, exclusive sets from Fear Factory and Sepultura, Exhumed, who just put a new digital EP out, Dead Heat, Zabulba, Insight, The Homies, Richie Cavallari, What Up, Spirit Adrift, So King, coming up soon in the news, Exmortis, who we just interviewed. Great stuff. Metal Injection, tip of the hat to Metal Injection for me. I'll put on a fest after, 17, 18 years. Someday we'll have a fest also. I hope so. Louder Than Life is coming up at the end of this month, just 3 weeks away. It is arguably the biggest rock festival in America. And in addition to these insane level headliners, Foo Fighters, if you get that reference, Foo Fighters, Tool, Avenged Sevenfold, Green Day, Weezer, Rancid, Godsmack, Limp Bizkit, Pantera, Queens of the Stone Age, Turnstile, a few others. They just added the viral sensation Oliver Anthony. I don't know if you know who this guy is. When you get done with this show, go check him out. He does kind of folky country music. He made this song, Rich Man North of Richmond. It's like a very politicized anthem about how politicians are failing us. A lot of people immediately assumed this guy was very conservative, but it seems that he's very liberal. Doesn't matter. It's a very universal message. Who cares? Listen to the song and remember that politicians, in the words of my spiritual dad, Phil Rind of Sacred Reich, remember that politicians have not done shit for you. If this is Jeff of Possessed, man, much love to you. You have been it's wonderful to see you around San Francisco. I'm on the East Coast. I'll be back home in a few weeks to San Fran, but I'm visiting my hometown for some personal stuff and some work and some other things and some Ghost Cult stuff. So always a huge fan of yours and your band. We were actually discussing if Possessed is the first ever death metal band or not on my other podcast, the Glacial Musical Podcast, that's airing tonight. I'm bathing in the filth of the world. Me too, pal. Me too. Good to see you. Welcome to the show. But yeah, in general, Possessed, one of my favorites. Looking forward to some new music eventually. So yeah, man, Oliver Anthony, check him out. If you've been on TikTok or YouTube or Instagram at all, you know who that guy is. Seen him in the woods singing, playing guitar. Metal Devastation Fest, Tennessee Metal Devastation Fest is coming back. We love talking about this. This is about a month, 5 weeks away in Eastern Tennessee at the AMP in Jackson, Tennessee. And this is the festival that literally sparked a satanic panic again, unbelievably. Casket Robbery in Summoner's Circle, or once again headlining. Excuse me. Coughing right in your ear if you're on the podcast, coughing right in your face. Omar is here. Oh, nice work, nice work. Crisis, we're big Crisis fans here. I interrupted myself, but I will. Crisis is apparently reissuing their 8 Convulsions album on Spart Records. I hope that's on vinyl. Somebody's got a birthday coming up with 2 thumbs that you could pre-order that vinyl for, and it's this guy. But shout out to Karen Crisis. She's been having some health problems. We should probably check in and see how she's doing with that. We covered her very heavily a few years ago before the pandemic. And we adore you, Karen, wherever you are today. Stormland, big week for the elder stateswoman of hardcore. Yeah. Candace from Walls of Jericho on that new Capra song. I'm interviewing Capra tomorrow, Justin. And I just like one story that did not get into I'm sure there's always a handful of things we miss. If I put every single story in, I leave nothing for the website. If I put every single story in this thing, it'll be like 2 hours long. We're already at the 30, 40-minute mark. I should speed this thing along. Anyway, good stuff, though. Yeah, I love Candace. She's kind of semi-retired. Like, Walls of Jericho has been doing a lot of festivals and stuff, but, you know, she had a family and kind of chilled, but it was great to see her and Crow mix it up on the vocals. Wonderful stuff. So, yeah, Metal Devastation Fest, if you're down in Tennessee, check it out and piss off the locals, who also take the money for the festival and gladly gave them the permits and then complained about it, like jackholes. Concerts. Here's all the concerts and things. Metallica week, whatever it is, they are playing their rescheduled Phoenix, Glendale, Tucson show. James got the COVID. He's apparently good. So far, I haven't heard anything else. I think the show is happening Saturday the 9th. Ice Nine Kills can no longer play the gig because they have another commitment. So it's Metallica, Five Finger Death Punch, and Suicidal Tendencies playing in an arena. That only happens in Europe. Doesn't happen much here in America. And then they move on to, they take a little break, and they come back in St. Louis in November, and I will be there for both nights in St. Louis. Very, very hype. Good times. Freaks on Parade tour already underway. Rob Zombie, Alice Cooper, Ministry, and Filter. Very cool stuff. Getting good reviews from there. Hoping to get covered for that on the East Coast with our team. Sleep Token kicks off their tour tonight. Probably the most anticipated U.S. tour. I will see Sleep Token at Riot Fest. Very excited for Sleep Token's U.S. debut. We still don't know who they are. Who are they? We don't know. Any Sleep Token fans out there, let us know. May not be everybody's thing, but surely going to be one of the most disputed and debated albums of the year when we get to our list. All right. And speaking of our album of the year list and Sleep Token, I'm just going to shuttle the slides back and forth because I don't know what I'm doing. Getting delirious. The Ghost Cult Magazine podcast that I referenced earlier, we talk about the album of the year on that the album of the month. Sorry, we do a monthly vote, our staff. And so those later in the year, when we do the album of the year, these are the albums you absolutely need to have. We don't give out the most high marks. We do the most reviews, but we're well known to be like very tough graders. So I just want you guys all to know that if you check out that podcast, you will learn who our artist of the month is and be one step closer to putting your list together when the year is over. Okie dokie. Gorilla Biscuits has been on tour and they are also playing Riot Fest, and Gorilla Biscuits has been doing this anniversary of Start Today, the 35th anniversary of my favorite hardcore record ever. Out on Revelation Records. You can still get it there. And their tour stop this weekend is in their hometown in New York City. Cold World, Fucked Up, Bib, Restraining Order, Combust, and others at the Brooklyn Monarch. I might just go. I want to go. It's kind of an early show, but I really love I love Gorilla Biscuits. I love that band. And then Sunday, Generation Records, formerly host to many. Epic Down joined is here. Epic Down. Revelation Records artist there, Civ from Gorilla Biscuits and other things, the band Civ. Civ is going to put out his book, A Roadie's Tale. Youth of Today, focusing on their tour of 1987 when like some young late teens, early adult guys try to do an actual U.S. tour as DIY punks. And there's going to be a Q&A with Civ and members of Youth of Today, and that road crew from that tour will be there. It's 3 o'clock on Sunday, September 10th. Speaking of big tours, just passed on tour. Mudvayne and Coal Chamber. Invariably, somebody was like, when is Mudvayne and Coal Chamber going to tour the U.S.? They just did. You got to watch this show and pay attention to ghostcultmag.com so you find out when these things are happening. But Mudvayne and Coal Chamber will head to Australia. Australia does not get a lot of U.S. bands going over there. Some of their bands come over here. Australia is an awesome continent. I will long to go someday. It's apparently like a 20-hour flight, like New Zealand. But Mudvayne and Coal Chamber touring together. Coal Chamber in direct support of Mudvayne. 2 years into their comeback. It will be 3 years next year. And so we covered, you can see a review of Mudvayne's tour on our site. I'll link it in the description. Coal Chamber back. I saw them at Sick New World. They were incredible. One of the most revered bands of that day. People were going ape shit for Coal Chamber. It was awesome. They slayed it. And I look forward to seeing them again someday. And we have an interview with Des we did not too long ago about Devil Driver and Coal Chamber. Alrighty. Ulcerate, who has an upcoming tour, has been forced to move their date. I believe they were booked for Tacoma, but that venue is going out of business, sadly. And so they are now playing at the substation in Seattle, just 40 miles away from Tacoma. So I appreciate that if you live in Tacoma or near Tacoma and you wanted to see that show near your home, it's now in Seattle and you got to drive back and forth. But 40 miles is about an hour or so, depending on traffic and things in most cities. So, yeah. Stormland, I did not recall if you're a huge hardcore person. I grew up in my 20s with Omar, so I know he's a big hardcore person. If he was here right now, he could do the Roger Moret voice. Yeah. All right. Midnight Danger is an awesome horror-themed synthwave band from Europe, and they have booked a West Coast tour, their first tour of America, I believe, over the West Coast in 2023. Phoenix, LA, San Francisco, Portland, and Seattle. The San Francisco show is literally right outside my house, down the block and around the corner. I have to go. I'm looking forward to it. A lot of cool, fun, synthy wave stuff going on right now in the world. A lot of cool synthy wave stuff. Thank you for the like, Ricardo Ball, if you're watching on Facebook. I see you, and I thank you. And I give you a shout out. That's my Gene Simmons voice. I'm Gene Simmons, and I invented everything. All righty. Mr. Bungle has already kicked off their headline tour of the East Coast. Their first headline tour of the East Coast since 2020, right before the world went to crap. They have already played Baltimore and Philadelphia, New York tomorrow night, followed by Boston, Montreal, Toronto, and Detroit. I hope they add more dates. I am coincidentally wearing my Mr. Bungle shirt. It's the shirt I wore to the show earlier tonight. I literally came into the Ghost Cult HQ, worked on the show, did not change my shirt. I don't smell bad. I smell pretty good. I was chilling tonight. I didn't feel too well, so I wasn't going off. I wore my mask the whole time just for my own comfort. I was supposed to interview the bands. I didn't talk to them in person because I was just, they're on tour and I don't want to get anybody sick. But I did go to the show at Stabbing Westward. But Bungle, I'm probably going to pass tomorrow. I don't like Terminal 5 as a venue, and I will see Bungle at Riot Fest. There's a theme here. Next week's show will be in Chicago. Why would I give you the mic, person? I mean, I appreciate you, but no. Nay. Chat Pile has a killer tour coming up. I just wanted to show this awesome looking poster for the San Francisco show, but they have a huge U.S. tour coming. And the San Francisco show has, I believe, Succumb is on all the dates, but the San Francisco show has Bostonage, which is also a local band for us, but a killer underground extreme metal band. So Chat Pile's amazing, right? Alternative rock, extreme metal, crossover, DB, crust punk, sometimes black metal. I saw them a couple years ago. They were stunning. All right, we made it through all of that. We're running a little behind schedule tonight. I have talked on and on a little bit. We're going to blast through these news stories, the new music out this week, and the mailbag in short order. I promise you. Seltzer. All right. Let's do this, Brutus. You guys still with me? All right. Ozzy gave a new interview. Ozzy and Sharon and Kelly have been doing the rounds. They did a new interview with Billy Morrison on Ozzy's Boneyard on Billy's show, Billy of the Cult. The Osbournes have restarted their podcast. They have rumored to be a new Osbourne season is literally imminent. Probably going to be on MTV, which is a little, MTV does reality shows, not music. But Ozzy gave a wide-ranging interview. He was really heartbroken still about Power Trip not happening. Dark Cult artwork is here. What's up, Dark Cult artwork? You have a cool name, and I love artwork. So maybe we are also a cult. So maybe I'll check out your thing. But Ozzy, expressed his disappointment over not being able to do the Power Trip festival, which is coming up a month from yesterday. I love Ozzy. I don't know that he's ever going to tour again. Hurricane Carcass is here. Hello, friend. Hello, friend. Great to see you. Welcome to the Rock and Metal Show, the weekly ritual. We know you. So yeah, Ozzy talked about a lot of stuff. Talked about the show was fully unscripted and totally authentic and real. And some other intel. I have a feeling this Osbourne's going to just drop. They're just going to drop a new season. Bang, bang. And I think it'll be very interesting to see what they show in a new Osbournes. I don't love that the Osbournes are the thing that Ozzy is most known for. But if anybody who came from extreme poverty and helped found heavy metal deserves riches untold, it's this guy. He suffered a lot. Anywho, Saint Anger is 20 years old this week. Unbelievable. Well, not 20 years old this week. It's 20 years old this year. I believe it was last month or a couple of months ago. We did a big retrospective review. Is it good? Is it trash? Is there anything good about it? And Metallica has their online AI interactive exhibition called the Black Box, where they've been doing these archival things where they have pictures and videos and merch and all these things. And so they did 40 years of Metallica. They did the Black Album. They did the art of Metallica historically. And they did Saint Anger. Probably the artwork is the best thing about Saint Anger, if you ask me. Not to mention Some Kind of Monster, not my favorite thing, the documentary. But 20 years of Saint Anger, does it suck? Do you love it? Is it a guilty pleasure? If it is, let us know. And go to MetallicaBlackBox.com and check out all the content. And Metallica is on tour, and they continue to show pro shot videos from the whole tour. They just dropped Orion, great version of Orion, a great tribute to Cliff Burton. This is Code Orange, who has a flair for the dramatic. They just dropped their just a bizarre, absolutely bizarre video. These guys are DIY. They do everything themselves. The song's called Mirror. The video is bizarre. Dan Dragelstar is here. What's up? Code Orange is crazy. They do their own shit. They are firmly DIY. And they do everything themselves. They have a studio. They spent their live stream earnings in the worst time of the year learning how to make videos and design and all these things. So, pretty great. Great stuff from Code Orange. New Code Orange EP. Code Orange everything. Code Orange everything. All right. This is one of the many stories this week. There's a ton of, we're getting to that part of the year where there's a ton of new albums coming out, but also we're announcing the stuff for November and December. And November and December is historically box set time and deluxe reissue times and record store day, Black Friday. So it is the 30th anniversary of Nirvana's In Utero album. And there's a super deluxe edition with 8 LPs, all 180 gram, 72 tracks, 53 unreleased live tracks B-sides, bonus tracks, newly remastered, concerts, full concerts, a hardcover book. This thing sounds like very expensive, but if you love Nirvana, this might be very essential for you. King has a brand new song out, Haunting Visions. This is the first new music from the band in quite some time, 7 or 8 years. We love King. They are playing that Metal Injection Fest. And big fan of the stoner rock band, especially with like the Sword broken up. King is just so killer, and I really look forward to them coming back. They really have never gotten that breakthrough that Baroness or Clutch has gotten, but they surely deserve it. And a Sweet is here. Hello. Thank you for watching our show. Thanks for being here. All right. Dio, another big box set of things. Dio, the studio albums. I did not know we needed one more Dio anything, but, you know, there are people who need this stuff. So the Dio studio albums, solo, 96 to 2004. So I assume this is part 2 of a series or 3 of a series. If you have one of these already, let me know. So this is supposed to be all these remastered vinyl in a hard case, all in a slip case with a bunch of content. I can't get enough of Dio solo or with Sabbath. Rainbow, is like sort of lower classic rock to me, but they're still great. No worries. Rolling Stones have a brand new single coming out from their upcoming new album, Hackney Diamonds. I did not have this on my bingo card where the Rolling Stones were going to put out a new album. Paul McCartney put out a new album last year. Rolling Stones' new album. Not sure how much, if any, Charlie Watts contributed to this before he passed. I'm interested to know. And Rolling Stones have made some of the best songs of all time. And I wonder what 80-something-year-old Keith Richards could pull out of his, bag of tricks. So I'm curious. We're going to get that song. I'm curious about it. Are you curious about it? Probably most people don't need a new Rolling Stones. They're good with the old Rolling Stones, but, Also, the Black Crowes announced the ginormous 30th anniversary. The Southern Harmony and the Musical Companion Deluxe Edition. Whole shebang bang. Look at this thing. If you're watching this, album, book, laminate, photo set, LPs, bonus tracks. Black Crowes coming back together. Blunt Letters is here. Hello. Black Crowes coming back together surprised me, and got to see them a couple of years ago at Bottle Rock Napa, and they were fantastic. So, I guess they're cashing in now that the goodwill is here. Everybody but their former drummer, Steve Gorman, who was not invited back. And, yeah, that's a bummer. But anyway, he's very angry about it in his book. Did you know that you needed a Typo Negative grindcore tribute album? I didn't know that I needed this, but apparently this is about to be a thing. This is in collaboration with Decibel Magazine, which also has a record label now, and curated by 783 Punks, which is a European, I'll say, punk and metal website. I don't really, they're pretty cool. We check them out from time to time. I don't feel very competitive with them, but a unique tribute. Take on the usual slow Typo Negative songs and turn them into grindcore. And so it's bands like Hellbastard and Schizomopathetic. I can't say that word. Schizomopathetic. Holy shit. Proletaire, Abaddon Incarnate, I know. So some pretty killer bands. And it's coming out as a CD, deluxe box set, tapes, LPs. Crazy. And 783 Punk sells a lot of merch, so of course they're gonna put out a record. They're gonna put it out right. So go check it out at Decibel Magazine right now. They're streaming the whole album before it comes out physically on September 22nd. Wild. We're almost done, folks. All right, New York City's own Desolate, some hardcore thrash. metal band, has put out a new single without Ghost Cult. We did it. We put it out this week. Torn. First new single in a lyric video in a while. I know there are many Desolate named bands. This is the original. I know there's a death metal band from Massachusetts that's Desolate. I know there's a upstate New York Desolate. Folks, when you're starting a band, here's a little piece of advice. Go out there and use this little machine called Google Magic on the internet and search other bands that have the name you want. Because what happens is you look like the band that bit off the other band, not some. You want to be known for your music, and the name is important, but it's not everything. And if there's too many bands with the same name and all kind of doing related genres, it's a cluster fudge. So just letting you know. My homies in Desolate, tip of the hat, song's killer, proud of y'all, and honored to help share the new single and the video. Also, the Gaslight Anthem has been teasing new singles and finally announced their new album, History Books. And it's got many guest appearances, and it's coming out soon, and the band is on tour, and they're also playing Riot Fest. Once again, very cool. They recently did a very cool Pink Floyd cover live, so Gaslight Anthem, very talented. Brian Fallon's got a great solo career. I think several other members of the band have some other gigs and musical outlets. Okay, we're almost done. New Music Friday. Let's try to blast through this. September is crazy with new music albums. And so here is what's coming out. We already talked about some of these. Art of Shocks, thrash metal, Shine Black Light is out on Century Media Records. Conquer Divide, which is basically contemporary hard rock, is out on Mascot label. Cryptopsy, the return of the great technical death metal greats. I think they're also playing in New York this week. NatCon 87 is here. Hello. Thanks for watching the show. Good morning to where you are, wherever you are. Are you in Europe, possibly? Good to see you. I am on the East Coast for a change, and not the West Coast, but where in the world is Keefy San Diego? Cryptopsy, as Gamora Burns' new album, It Slaps. That's out on Nuclear Blast, their new label. Dying Fetus, what a great week for death metal. Make Them Beg for Death on Relapse Records, the slam death metal band, incredible. Fossilization, Leprous Daylight album on Everlasting Spew, a very cool underground death metal label. Mitch the Clown is here for the second week in a row. I noticed you last week, Mitch. Good to see you. Hawthorne Heights has a new EP out on Pure Noise, kind of emo punk. Head Cleaner, grindcore, the extreme sound of truth. Monolord's new EP, it's all the same. Big Monolord fan, one of the best Doom bands in the world. Doom psychedelic, Doom heavy metal. Big Star Wars fans, those guys. NatCon is in the UK, lovely. Oh, of course, I see who it is, Natalie. Hello, good to see you. I recognize your thumbnail now. Sorry about that. Feller Talk. Great Norwegian heavy rock, weird, extreme band, black and roll. New record on Rise Records, Endling. Pomegranate Tiger, very interesting name band, kind of tech metal, progressive metal band. All Input is Error. Silosis, fresh off of Josh Middleton, fresh out of Architects, drops his banger of a new album. Arguably going to be one of the albums of the year or albums of the month at least. A sign of things to come. A Nuclear Blast, great review written by our own Charlie Hill. Uada, controversial but excellent atmospheric black metal band from the U.S. And their new album, Crepuscule Natura. Let's have some Latin words, won't we? And then finally, at least in the short list here, I'm sure there's some other albums that have come out we missed. Ice Giant is out this week with their new album. Big progressive metal epic album, self-released. And With Honor, Boundless, also on Pure Noise, kind of hardcore rock punk stuff. A lot of records coming out the next batch of weeks. Going to be bananas. That's a short rundown of what we covered. So quite a few big albums in the last week. And yeah, kind of fun. Yep, Ice Giant there on the cover. All right, it's time for the mailbag, and we're just not going to mess around anymore. Bart Goldberg is here. Here's the mailbag, and so this week, instead of something in the mail, it's something I picked up at a show recently. This is a beautiful illustrated lyric book from Mizmor. I saw Mizmor play at St. Vitus Bar, my first time back to St. Vitus Bar in 3 or 4 years. Right when I returned to New York City, literally, I saw Metallica. I hung out with some friends. I went to St. Vitus Bar. That's kind of what's up. And this was at the merch table, and this is incredible, right? The pictures don't even do it justice. I do not have my other webcam set up. Shame on me. I would have liked to have shown this to you guys, but I'm just going to do one of these. Like, yeah, this is crazy. Crazy good stuff. A lot of lyrics, a couple of illustrated pages. I was not compelling at all. I now have my sweaty fingerprints all over this. There might be some photography in here. Oh, there's a illustrated section. It's kind of cool. So yeah, Mizmor. You can check out our review of Mizmor at St. Vitus Bar with Unrequited and Funeral Leech at ghostcultmag.com right now with photos by Dante Torrieri, aka Useless Rebel Imaging. I love seeing that guy. Haven't seen that guy in quite a while. So that's our show, man. With a cough at the end, so I'm gonna go to bed soon. If you're watching this and you're still watching this, thanks. You're a real one. Thanks for being here. If you're watching this on the rebroadcast and you're seeing this for the first time, thank you. Please like and subscribe. We appreciate you. Bands, especially if we talked about you in this show, I don't expect Metallica to share our post, but like all you other little bands, anybody that does what we do, if we have the time to spend talking about you out of thousands of bands, you could help us out by sharing this thing with your fans. We would like that. That's why we do what we do, because we love your bands. We love music. You don't know what it's like to just love a silly piece of music so much it hurts. And if you know what that movie is from, I will send you a t-shirt. Anywho, that's our show. As we say every week at this juncture of the show, it is a tough time in the world. So please do yourself a big old favor and take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Stay as metal as humanly possible. And have a safe and great weekend. Take care.